So let's rank all the flicks I rewatched for the month of January 2023. Big D's! Entertainment rankings and reviews. So, greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Doyle, better known to you as the Big D, back again with another ranking. This time it's going to be my January 2023 rewatches. Now, this will be consisting of 32 movies. Now, I did rewatch My Bloody Valentine, but I didn't include that because I was going to rewatch it this month. So you'll see on the next month. So I humbly apologize because I want to try and wait for the time to be right to watch that special uncut edition, which I will, promise. Anyway, but I didn't because then it would have just been an odd 33. So I'm going to go ahead and give these to you. There are 32 movies, so I'm going to go rapid fire on the first few and what I had first set, and then I'm going to go to the top 10 where you'll see more of me, okay? If you're ready, let's start the ranking. Sit back, relax, and here we go. Number 32 is Happily Ever After from 1989. Now, although this actually didn't get released in North America until 1993, this was the last film to be brought to us by the late great Lou Scheimer and the folks at Filmation. Though this film bombed at the box office, but it's still an okay film. The full movie's on YouTube. It's the continuing story of Snow White as she gets to meet the dwarf elves, cousins of the dwarfs, and encounter the Wicked Queen's brother, the cruel Lord Malice. Check out my review of this if you haven't, which I dedicated that in memory to Irene Cara, who voiced Snow White. Number 31 is Boys and Girls from 2000. Now, this film also, I don't think did so well, despite it had a pretty good cast with Freddie Prinze Jr., Jason Biggs, Claire Forlani, and Amanda Detmer. I hadn't seen this film in a long time, and I revisited it on Paramount Plus. Yeah, it's not that bad. I might review this one day. Number 20 is not 20, 30. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself. Number 30 is Little Nicky, also from 2000. And I know this isn't considered to be one of, well, they're not great movies of Adam Sandler's, but hey, I reviewed this film and proved them they're just not thinking well. I mean, sure, it does have a few issues and what have you, but this is so funny and what have you. This is an underrated film in my opinion, and it's a guilty pleasure of mine. Check out my review I did last month of this if you haven't already. Number 29 is Sleepaway Camp 3 Teenage Wasteland from 1989. Yeah, I rewatched all the Sleepaway Camp films again. But anyway, this film's still good in ways, despite it got toned down for its violent moments and what have you. But Pamela Springsteen isn't too bad as Angela, though. We'll find out where the other two wind up. Number 28 is Obsessed from 2009. I hadn't seen this film in a long time. This is sort of a guilty pleasure, considering I've only watched it a few times. Idris Elba's pretty good, so is Beyonce and Ali Larter. This film makes me remember some of those other films where, well, I think you know what I'm saying. Kind of like Devil in the Flesh and The Crush, but except, well, with a turn of the color of people and what have you. But anyway, which we'll see where Devil in the Flesh and The Crush wind up later on. This one's pretty underrated. It may have gotten dissed, but it got become a big success still in ways. Number 27 is Never Back Down from 2008. This film's very underrated. This film didn't do too well at the box office, but it's become a cult classic, though. This kind of makes me feel like I'm watching a much more brutal version of Karate Kid ways, even though this got a PG-13 rating, which I'm cool with that. Never saw its direct-to-video sequels, though, but this film's pretty good, even if it does have a young Amber Heard in it. Please forgive me for saying the name. I definitely gotta review this film. I might review it next month. Just stay tuned and find out. Number 26 is Wrong Turn from 2003. Now, I haven't seen this film in a long time. I've been having thoughts about watching the sequels, but I've never seen those. I know a lot of y'all are mixed on the sequels in my view. This was the only film in the franchise I saw until I saw that reboot that came out just a few years ago. This film's pretty good in some ways. I gotta review this one day. Number 25 is Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters from 2013. This film's kind of underrated. I recently did a review of this for its 10th anniversary last month. If you haven't seen this yet, you might want to check out. It's pretty bloody in some ways. I like the performances from Jeremy Renner and the others. Gemma Arterton, that's who I'm talking about. And Famke Janssen. Number 24 is Devil in the Flesh from 1997. Well, this actually was produced that year, but it came out in 1998. This is easily a guilty pleasure of mine with Rose McGowan. She's really good in this. Of course, a few years ago, I did a back-to-back review of this along with its sequel, which that's still ahead. But this film is pretty diabolically and erotically killer and what have you. Number 23 is Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers from 1988. This film is still pretty funny for its part and what have you. Pamela Springsteen does a great performance as Angela. And I gotta say, this film is just outrageously twisted and crazy. Number 22 is Sweet 16 from 1983. Of course, the film was actually produced in 82, but it didn't get released till 83. This film is pretty good. I mean, I watched this before my birthday. You'll see some other films I've watched before and during my birthday on this ranking, of course. I like this film now a whole lot more after I revisit it on Tubi. It's just so good. Number 21 is Devil in the Flesh 2 from 2000. Now, I actually got to see this before the first one, but I like this film. Joey Lynn O'Keefe definitely high and what have you. I mean, even though she replaced Rose McGowan, but still a pretty good continuation. Although it's a shame we never got another one. I wished we did. This is just wow. If you haven't seen this yet, you gotta check this out. Same with its predecessor. Number 20 is, for realsies, it's a change up from 2011. This is only my second time I'm watching this, but I watched the special unrated cut though, which was still good, which may go up a little bit more. Even though it is considered a rom-com, but I actually do consider it to be a little bit of a buddy comedy. Look for a review of this coming soon, possibly next month. Number 19 is A Walk to Remember from 2002. I love this movie. I don't care what anybody says. This is easily a guilty pleasure of mine. I love the performances from Shane West and some of the other cast members, but Mandy Moore really stole the show, especially with her singing the song Only Hope. That was so amazing. Number 18 is Rocky 4 from 1985. This film is a guilty pleasure. Now, I still haven't seen the brand new cut of the film, but I will try and encounter it and watch it. We'll see where the other Rocky films are wind up. Except for 5. I don't care much for 5, though. I didn't really watch Rocky Balboa either, but I'm looking forward to Creed 3 when it comes up this year. Number 17 is Terror Train from 1980. Now, this is really an underrated horror flick. A great, well, not great slasher, but good slasher, though. Jamie Lee Curtis, good. I really do enjoy it. I'd rather watch this more than the remake that came out last year. Same with its sequel. Number 16 is The Crush from 1993. I love this movie. This is another guilty pleasure. With Alicia Silverstone in her first film, along with Carrie Ellis and Kurtwood Smith, you may know from RoboCop. This film is just so... I don't know what to say. This is a guilty pleasure. Not sure how well my original review has done. If it hasn't done so well, maybe I'll re-review the film later on this year. We'll see. Just stay tuned. but this is a pretty good suspense flick. Oh yeah, Jennifer Rubin, who you know played Taryn in Nightmare on Elm Street 3, is in this too. Number 15 is Bloody Birthday from 1981. Love watching this about when my birthday comes around. This is so underrated. I mean, it's got these three killer kids who were born around the time an eclipse came along, and well, they became so bad and what have you. If you haven't seen this movie yet, you gotta check it out. It's pretty good. Number 14 is Role Models from 2008. Now, I hadn't seen this film in a long time. I plan to do a review of this possibly next month. With Sean William Scott and Paul Rudd, this film was absolutely crazy and what have you. I will review this next month. Stay tuned for it. Number 13 is Sleepaway Camp from 1983. Now, this is where it all started. I absolutely do enjoy this movie, especially when it gets to the twist ending. It's really shocking. I'm going to check to see how my original reviews turn out. I know these were some of my earlier. This was one of my earlier films I reviewed, but if it didn't do so well, I will try and do a re-review of the film later on, since this year is going to mark the film's anniversary. It's 40th actually. Number 12 is Happy Death Day from 2017. Real fun flick with a little bit of, well, with comedy and horror and what have you. I love this movie. I haven't revisited the sequel though, because I don't have it. But anyway, this is a real good film. Number 11 is Pearl from last year in 2022. I really did enjoy this the second watch. Mia Goth, great as the titular character in this prequel to X, which we'll see where that winds up later in the top 10. Anyway, it's pretty bloody and what have you in some parts, but it's so colorful. Ty West did a great job with his direction of the film. I really enjoyed it the second watch. I sure hope you're enjoying this so far. See, I really got through those in just a few minutes and what have you. Now for the top 10, which this was really a big one, what have you. You're going to see some real big surprises and what have you in this. Anyway, it was just tough to decide, but you're going to see a few good films, even some horror flicks up a little high and what have you. Yes, you heard me correctly. You're going to see some more horror flicks in the top 10. So that's good to know, I bet, for all you horror fans out there. Alright, that about covers it. Let's get ready to do the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Happy Birthday to Me from 1981. After revisiting the film on Tubi, which it's now been playing for a few months, I watched it again, and let me tell you, I love this movie. This is another good birthday movie. As much as I liked Bloody Birthday and Sweet 16, this is a birthday horror flick that just took the cake. And I've got to say, it was good. I actually learned it was directed by the guy who directed the original Cape Fear, which I haven't seen, but I've heard of it though. Anyway, happy birthday to me. This was just so incredible. Melissa Sue Anderson was really good as Jenny. She was a great character. All the kills were pretty good too, and what have you. Just so good. And here comes another slasher from the 80s, which means coming in at number 9 is the original Friday the 13th from 1980. Yeah, I still enjoy this movie. The final chapter is my favorite, but unfortunately, I didn't watch all of them this time. I only watched the first one. But anyway, this film hasn't aged much. It's still a pretty good slasher and what have you. I still like it and what have you. I recently did a re-review of the film. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's come close to us being as big as my original review of it. I will re-review the other films down the road, but separately, unlike what I did before. Okay, so stay tuned for those. Now, coming in at number 8, here's another slasher film, and that film is X from last year. This is a very good slasher. Ty West, once again, like I said about Pearl, great job in his direction. Mia Goth was really good playing Maxine. And, well, in makeup as Pearl, a little freaky and what have you. Jenna Ortega, Brittany Snow, all the others were pretty good too. This was just so good. I hope for the best we will get the third film this year, Maxine. I know I haven't really officially seen much about him coming out this year yet, but we just gotta stay tuned and find out. After recently getting Showtime back for a while, I rewatched it before I did a spoiler-free review of it. It's doing pretty well. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. You can also check out my spoiler-free review of Pearl as well. But I gotta say, X, I loved it. It was very good. Now, coming in at number 7 is The 40-Year-Old Virgin from 2005. Now, I used to have this, but I gave up on it after. Well, I really don't want to bring up the story and what have you. That's personal and what have you. But anyway, after revisiting it, but only on I had the unrated cut, but I watched the theatrical cut, and I liked it just as well. I mean, the unrated cut was many minutes more than this one, but hey, I was cool with seeing that. That was even, what have you. Anyway, Steve Carell, absolutely really funny. Everyone else was real good. Look for a review of this coming up later in the month. I know you'll enjoy it when I get ready to give it to you, okay? Okay, that about covers it. Coming in at number 6 is Rocky from 1976. Love this movie. This, of course, film that really put old Sly himself on the map. It's just so good and what have you. We'll see where the second and third one winds up in a little while, but this film was really good. I really enjoyed the performance Sly gave us was good, and the direction, the score, cinematography, everything in it was really good. Rocky is just so good. You cannot go wrong with this film. Definitely. Now, coming in at number 5 is Super Bad from 2007. Now, this is only the second time I've seen this, but I gotta say, this is a pretty good buddy comedy. I really enjoyed it. I've only seen the theatrical cut. I know there's an unrated extended version out, but I haven't seen it though. But anyway, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the performances we got from the cast, including Jonah Hill, Michael Cera, and Christopher Mintz-Plasse, who, of course, after this would be in Role Models. Of course, this was his first film, as a matter of fact. Very funny after watching it a second time. Look for a review of this coming up next month. I know you'll be prepared for that, I'm sure. But anyway, Super Bad, very good on the second time watch and what have you. Now, coming in at number 4, this one's going to be a big shock to you. Coming in at number 4 is Freaky from 2020. I have come to love this movie a whole lot more with every single rewatch and what have you. Actually, the film's actually now streaming on Amazon Prime's Freebie service. If you haven't seen it yet or you don't have it on physical media, you should still get on physical media. But if you're into streaming, stream Freaky on Freebie. It recently came to that service a few months ago. But anyway, this is really a good slasher comedy. I mean, Vince Vaughn does an exceptionally good job. I loved Catherine Noon's performance. They were all really good. This was a big surprise. I knew a lot of people talked about this with it being good and all, I agree. This was very, very good. Mm-hmm. Now, coming in at number 3 is 13 Going on 30 from 2004. This is another great film. I love this movie. Jennifer Garner is absolutely really good. Mark Ruffalo was good. I like Judy Greer's performance. So was Andy Serkis. He was really good too. I gotta say, going from being um someone in the 80s to wake up in the present day to wishing to be 30 and flirty and thriving. Wow. Yeah. Does that kind of ring a bell of a film called Big? Yeah, it does. Anyway, 13 Going on 30. That was a really good movie, and I love it. It's still good, and it hasn't aged much. Yep, incredible. Now, the final two are Rocky sequels, and this was a tough decision to make. But anyway, I just picked the one that I like the best to be on top. So coming in at number 2 is Rocky 2 from 1979. Love this movie. This is actually my second favorite film in the Rocky franchise, as a matter of fact. And of course, with Sly directing this film, aside from playing the title character, this was just so incredible. But I gotta say, it was just so good. I like the music and what have you. The someone here at the intro and outro was good. Just so good. And how Rocky trains to get ready for the rematch with Apollo Creed was really good, especially when Mickey wants him to catch this chicken and what have you. He's just not doing so well. Rocky's like, I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot. Oh boy. You cannot go wrong with this. Rocky 2, definitely a classic. I do love it. But this one, I love a whole lot more. Coming in at number 1, my number 1 rewatch of January 2023 is Rocky 3 from 1982. Love this movie. This is a classic and features one of my childhood favorite tunes, The Eye of the Tiger by Survivor. You can't go wrong with that. And let's see. Of course, I still love the performances we got from old Sly, plus Talia Shire, Burt Young, Burgess Meredith, even though his character Mickey passed away early on in the film. And Mr. T is good as Clubber Lang. Yeah, really something. And Rocky 3 is definitely a good film. But I hope for the best Creed 3 will be just as good as that. I mean, Creed film was real good. Its second one was just as good. Let's hope for the best the third one is. But back to Rocky 3. Definitely a good film. I do love it. But anyway, we're all entitled to our own opinions to decide which Rocky film we like. But anyway, that'll do it for this ranking. Rocky 3 is my top pick as my top favorite rewatch for January 2023. So, what did you think? What You can tell me what you watched last month. What's your top pick for top rewatch of last month? You can tell me your top pick. Give me your top 3, top 5, tops, whatever you want to do. Leave them for me in the comment section below. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my review of Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey. Thank you for watching, and if you like this, check out my these previous videos I have done. In the upper left-hand corner is my spoiler-free review on X. The upper right-hand corner is the spoiler-free review I did on Pearl, and the bottom left-hand corner is my re-review of Friday the 13th, the original. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.